Hey, everybody. I just do a couple of blogs and all this stuff, just to, just to kind of comment on stuff. And I just, this is kind of maybe a emergency one, but, this is my blog, so I can do what I want. I can comment on what I want. I can say what I want and stuff. And that's what I like about having my own blog, because I may not be able to say stuff over at other people's blogs, out of being nice or being cordial or whatever, but I can say what I want over here. And so I know you're thinking, what you doing? Yeah, I'm doing it. I decided to do this one about youth whores, and boy, I love some youth whores. It's just it's the funniest phenomenon. Women who want to be young and think they look young and all that stuff for the rest of their lives and stuff, which is impossible. It's just physically impossible. And earlier today, I had a blog about how's married life and about being friends with your spouse, and that one of the ways to sustain a really strong friendship is being friends with your spouse, because stuff happens during marriage and during married life. People get older. Some of the passion may wane in your marriage, and stuff. People get sick, people get old, people gain weight, people lose weight, people do all sorts of stuff, and all this stuff. We change. We're people. We change. Some stuff may happen, people have kids, and stuff, and all this stuff. And we're wondering, how do we keep something alive without a friendship, and stuff. And the article below was an article about General Petraeus and his wife, and how, of course, the blame for his affair was that his wife had let herself go and stuff, which I don't really know how you let yourself go. You just get older. That's just sort of happens. You don't let yourself do that. That just happens. And stuff, had let herself go, and somehow he decided he wants something younger and better looking because his wife had let herself go. Well, neither Petraeus nor his wife are any prize cows. Okay, he really ain't that good looking, but he's a man in power, and she ain't really that good looking. They both just look like two old white people and stuff. And so I didn't really get all this stuff about how she had let herself go and all this stuff. She's older, but youth whores seem to think that as a woman, if you stay young looking and all this stuff, that you'll keep a man forever. And of course, we know that's a crock of crap, pretty much, because there's a bunch of young looking, good looking women that men have cheated on and left and right. So good looking is not enough. Now, I'm not saying that you don't make yourself attractive or look good for your spouse. I like looking good for my husband and stuff. I like being attractive and sexy for him, and stuff. But as a person with type 1 diabetes, I don't know what may happen later on in my life, what complications may come because of my diabetes, and things may happen to me or my body. And so if I'm looking to stay with or have my husband stay with, but see, that's what people don't get, is that sometimes people are sick. Some people get sick, and stuff, and that's not the majority of people, but some people do get sick and stuff, and nobody really knows why Petraeus really cheated on his wife. Personally, I don't really care, and stuff. This all could have stayed just between them and the folks they're working with forever, because personally, even though, all this stuff about the woman, I'm not even blaming the mistress. I'm blaming him, because he owed his wife, he owed his wife fidelity. Even if he had the duty of that, even if she didn't keep herself up, he still owed her fidelity and stuff. So to me, who's got the greater sin here? And somehow this article is about her having the greater sin for not being young and beautiful forever. But who has the greater sin here, him or her? And as a person who's married that wrote this article, that's a real shame, and stuff. That's a real shame and kind of disgusting to me. Because lots of stuff happens to people. A husband may get sick, a wife may get sick, and men have left women for being ill and being sick, And I guess the sort of thing of everybody rah rah and think it's just so great and all this stuff, and what you're really saying is, if if people fall off, if they get sick or if something happens, then yeah, you have the right to leave them because they just don't look good anymore, and stuff, which is just sort of a weird sort of thing to say, and stuff, and it's just weird and not necessary. So yeah, of course, I had something to say about it, and probably always have something to say about stuff. That's just who I am. I think that's a bad, wrong message. All this stuff about, well, you're competing with younger women. Listen, I can't compete with younger women. That's like apples competing with oranges. That's dumb. That's a dumb comparison. I can't compete with younger women. I will never be young again. Okay, I will never be. I have an 18-year-old niece, beautiful, gorgeous. I can't compete with her 18-year-old. Okay, I don't care how slim, sexy, whatever I get, I'll still be 40. Okay, and so I can't compete with her youth. Okay, and stuff. Even with whatever I look like, I can't compete with her youth. And ladies, don't fool yourselves. You're thinking that, oh, well, I know, oh, but people think I look like so and so, and they think I'm as young as this person and stuff. No, yeah, I know people telling you that, but really, let's be for real, okay? Most 30-year-old, 35, over 30-year-old, late 20-year-old women, I would not guess look like a 15-year-old, and stuff. I mean, most of them look around about their age, maybe a few years younger. Some of them a few years older, but I'm not mistaking you for a teenager no day of the week and stuff. And I know it's nice to hear and everything, but let's live in the real world. Nobody's mistaking me for a teenager. And I know a lot of people think I look really young and stuff. And yeah, that's great. I really like looking and, but I'm still 40. And so I don't worry about competing with younger women. That's never going to happen. I have to compete with myself to be my best self, and stuff. I know a bunch of people with all the competition, blah, blah, blah. I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm only in competition with me. Nobody can give what I have. Nobody has what I have. Nobody is who I am. Okay, so there's no need for me to compete or worry about competing with younger women, especially when that won't happen. Now, maybe me and the other 40-year-old chick might be competing, but me and the 20-year-old chick, yeah, she's going to win every day, all day long. So I'm not even worried about that and stuff. But the issue of somehow you getting older is a bad thing and stuff, or you not being your best or keeping yourself up or being whatever. Well, you'd have to be married or have been married to understand how marriage sometimes works and how sometimes being unhappily married can affect the way you look and how you feel. The late part of my first marriage, when it was really, really bad, I looked really, really bad. I was depressed. I was depressed. I had panic and anxiety. It was a awful marriage, and so I looked the part and stuff. And although at that point it was about 36, I probably looked about 46 or 50. I'm not even gonna lie. I looked terrible because I felt terrible. Now, in this marriage, I feel great. I feel great and I look great. I look much better and I'm much healthier and stuff. So there may be some issue of how Mr. Petraeus may have treated his wife that maybe led to her not feeling so great about herself. I mean, if the man was having an affair, he was probably a jackass way before then, okay, and stuff. And that's not helping with you or with your marriage. But what I think is happening with an article like the one below is I think what may be happening and what people don't even realize is that you may be setting people up inadvertently for emotional abuse. And I know that's not what people mean to do. You don't have to come on here and defend yourself, but you may be doing so by having something called unreasonable expectations. Okay? That if you don't do this, I'm going to do this. So, hey, Mrs. Petraeus, if you don't look your best, then I'm going to have an affair on you. But when it's something, if you don't stay useful for me, which is something that's really impossible for her to do at her age, then I would have an affair on you. And see, there's stuff that's deeper, but people never think deep. People just think surface. People just think, all the stuff that makes it shiny and sensational and all this stuff. And, we bring a lot of readers over here and all this stuff when they really don't know what they may be doing and setting people up. I'm not telling people not to stay attractive. I'm not telling people not to stay healthy. I'm not doing any of that. But there's a better way to do that than to tell some woman, you know what, if you don't stay attractive, your husband's going to leave you and stuff. So, and most people wouldn't even know how to do that in a healthy, many women don't know how to do that in a healthy way. So they're back and forth. They're up and down. They're dotted. But the thing is, it doesn't really even matter because there are really good looking women who men have left for other women. There are really good looking women that men have left for some dowdy women. Okay, Kelsey Grammer is one. He left his wife, and yeah, with her youthful self, okay, and stuff, he left her, and you know what? He wanted youth. He got youth. But when I say that woman doesn't favor nothing, okay, and stuff, but he left his wife for somebody else, and he loves that woman. And when I saw them together, I thought she really doesn't look like much of nothing and stuff. But he's really happy. There are all kinds of good looking women that men have left for other good looking women, other not so good looking women, other not so good looking women and stuff. That's over and over. They've had affairs. Clinton is one who had affairs with a bunch of women, none of which anybody would have wrote home about and stuff on his wife, and all this stuff. So, the part about looking good is just great. And the fact is that most men who have affairs usually have them with women that aren't half as nice looking as their wives and stuff. So this is just kind of one little crazy off example. But this is not about some man having an affair because his wife got fat. It's not even about men having affairs because your wife get fat or she get old or she get whatever. This is about people's egos. This is about people not keeping fidelity in their marriage, okay? And people wonder why people don't want to get married. You know what? If you had to do all this, if it was all this kind of drama, if it didn't really matter, how you looked or what you did and stuff, you still have a risk of some man with some overinflated ego having an affair on you. I'd be distrustful of marriage too. It's nothing. You girls, it seems like you can't win, okay? But see, that's not what marriage is about. That's not. Marriage is more than that. It's deeper than that. It is more significant than that. And if your whole marriage is based on whether or not your face stays smooth, or you look young, or you think you look like you're 18 when you're 50, when you actually look 50, okay, and stuff, if that's what your whole marriage is based on and nothing else, nothing deeper, no friendship, no love, no compassion, no kindness, okay, no anything, then you're going to have one shitty marriage, okay? And let me be the first to tell you, okay? Because you know what? I'm not just going to make it nice, and I'm not going to say it all beautiful to you, and I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to make it beautiful and wonderful and everything. I'm not saying anything about people not being healthy. I'm not saying anything about people not looking good because they want to look good, okay? I'm not saying anything about that. But what I am saying is for you to blame the wife for what the husband did, okay, which he shirked his duty, because I'm not even blaming the mistress, he shirked the duty, is supremely short-sighted on your part, okay? Just because there's causation does not mean that there's correlation, and again, that's something my husband, the engineer, says all the time. And I know people like to think that correlation equals causation. It don't. Okay? And stuff. And I just think it's kind of irresponsible to do so. Because what you may be doing is setting women up for something that I've warned women about when I talk about emotional abuse. Okay? That there are things called unreasonable expectations. And so what you're doing is setting women up to not have healthy boundaries in a marriage, to not have any self-esteem or self-confidence unless he gives it, which is codependent in a marriage. What you're setting them up for inadvertently for a bunch of women that are probably have already have a bunch of deep mental issues is you're setting them up for emotional abuse. And that is irresponsible and slightly disgusting, okay, and really uncalled for. There's more to what's going on in marriage than just that. Yes, that is one aspect, okay, but it is not the be all, end all of all time. And if that is what you're basing everything on and telling women to base everything on, is somehow they're competing with a bunch of other women for the rest of their lives because their husband doesn't have enough self control to keep his dick in his pants, then you got way more issues, okay? Way more issues than just some issue regarding how you look or if you gain some weight or if you get older and stuff, which will happen anyway, okay? So, that's just my little take on that little thing and and what it is and what it says. I'm happy to share, and stuff. And I ask that you come back because, I want to talk about some real deeper issues about marriage, and what marriage is and how you sustain a good marriage beyond, putting some lipstick on and putting some war paint on your face and, strutting around the house or dieting yourself to death or whatever it is and stuff. There's some deeper issues than just those, surface sort of junk issues and stuff. So I guess that's the end of me chastising people for tonight. Okay, I'll talk to you all later. Bye.